Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to A Better World. I'm your host, Luis Acevedo, and be sure to subscribe to the blog at loseview.blogspot.com. Today I want to talk about some really important news. It came out yesterday. Let's see the place. It's Smithfield Foods closed down one of their meat processor plants, and they are the biggest pork supplier in America. Excuse me, or in the world, actually. And they stopped their pork production in one of their plants due to the coronavirus. And this is crucial to know because this is not the first place to do so. You have Tyson Food, which stopped, and other poultry production places such as Cargill Inc. and JBA USA have also stopped and have plants that are idled in America. And this is causing difficulties for farmers to get products off of their hands. So they have cattle, pigs, and other produce that is difficult for them to get rid of. They're having to dump excess amounts of milk. There's millions of acres of onions are just rotting. And then we were already having some issues with the soybeans due to the trade war with China. That trade war is still in place. There's still difficulties with global supply chains flowing as they once did, and now that is broken. We have seen the supply chain get completely disrupted, and if you have been listening to me or conversing with me in any amount of time for the past year or so, you would know I've been talking about the supply chains breaking, and that's what's going to happen in America. Is the supply chains are going to break, and it's going to disrupt our way of life. Now, obviously, I didn't predict that the coronavirus would cause this or anything like that. Nobody could have predicted that to be the straw that broke the camel's back. But I have been warning about the supply chain for a while. I have been saying for a while that, what we should really be looking at as far as essentials is land. Land is the real wealth, so that way you can grow your own food, have some privacy in this time of lunacy. You have the New York mayor, New York City's Mayor Blasio, I think, saying that they're going to release inmates from jails now who have underlying health conditions or, meet the qualifications to be released to prevent the spread within jails. And then you have Christians being ticketed, as I've already said, all these things that are going on, which are cause for concern, and it would be best to move away from the cities into the country, which is why you have ancient Romans, the elites back in Rome, the wealthy people would have country land, a country property. That way, once things went bad in the city, they can go off into the land. And I think we're going back to something like that right now, where it's going to be crucial to have land out in the country. Now, if you don't have that and you live in a little community, tight, condensed neighborhood like my wife and I, just make the most out of your community. Start working together. It's important to share faith, I think, and that will help tighten and strengthen the bonds. But things are going to get worse, and so it's time for us not to freak out or despair, but have hope and start becoming self-sufficient, independent, breaking away from the system. In my opinion, the system, society, is the mark of the beast. When you're completely dependent on the government and corporations to take care of you, you are buying the ticket. You have the mark of the beast if you are participating in society. And I'm not saying I'm innocent of that. It is a very difficult thing to break away from. But we should make an honest attempt to do so and start slowly separating ourselves from the mark of the beast, society, and becoming more self-sufficient, independent. And, like in my community and the city in particular that I live in, there's a petition going around to allow backyard chickens within the cities, within the city limits. And, my wife and I signed it. Hopefully that can make some headway throughout the city council. And then there's other things that we can do, such as the states that are experiencing restrictions on seed sales and gardening equipment. Just go to the self-checkout lines, start buying them. Protest against these things any way you can, and also start preparing to get out of cities if you can afford it. Go live in the country, like I've been saying, and be prepared for the catastrophic effects the supply chain breaking is going to have. Just imagine if one trucking company experiences a coronavirus outbreak, they're going to shut that trucking company down, and they're already short on truckers. That's going to be devastating, and it's easy to do. You can already go into Walmart and other places such as Giant Eagle and see empty shelves, which weren't empty before. I went into Walmart over the weekend, and I noticed aisles were missing certain food category groups because they just aren't selling them at the time because they don't have the product to sell. And things are going to keep getting worse. So don't listen to what the government and the news are telling you about hoarders are the problem. They need to save some for everybody else. That is not the issue. Hoarders are not the problem. Hoarders, I repeat, are not the problem. They are ahead of the game. And if you want to be ahead of the game, I suggest you buy more than what you need right now, because things are going to get more challenging. Inflation's going to kick in, and things are going to become more expensive. So the sparse aisles with the aisles with sparse amounts of food in them are going to increase in price and make it more difficult for you to pay for and more difficult to find. So start growing your own stuff the best you can. If you have land, I would recommend buying some chickens, some goats, and prepare. This isn't nothing to be scared about. This is just human history. This is cyclical. This happens all the time throughout civilization. So be prepared. Do not despair. Have faith. Have hope. Things will get better. I think this is going to be beneficial. But we need to realize what we're dealing with and be honest. So just wanted to share that with you guys. So if you like it, please like, subscribe, and share it. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.